Hello everyone, happy Friday. Happy day after Thanksgiving Friday, or Black Friday as they say. How's everyone doing? I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving and you're somewhat recovered from the heavy dose of tryptophan, if that was your thing. And it's great to see y'all here. Let's see who we got. So I see Road King Piper, Corvette Jim, Luke Reisner, Professor Walker. How are you guys doing tonight? I hope you had a great Thanksgiving all. Big Dave, hello Big Dave. Michael Case, WKR Piper in Cincinnati. How you doing, buddy? Armchair Piper Ed, Ron H. Great to see you guys. Looks like we already got a pretty full house. 40 folks in already. That's fantastic. George Tiedemann, Meerschaum Mountaineer 304. Hello there. Fantastic. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. Burley Nut Bob. Cliff Higgins. How you doing, Cliff? The One Simplex One. Hello there, my friend. Smoking Kentucky Piper. Michael Carr. Kilted Piper Steve. Hello, Steve. Piano Piper. How's it going, my friend? Harlow Piper. Nice crowd already. Great. Always great to see that. Especially when it's a solo live stream because, you know, it's just me. I don't know what you're showing up for. EK341. Hello there. By the Fire from Country Squire and having a Sam Adams Oktoberfest. Very nice. So I got the Matches Tribute pipe with Haunted Bookshop, which should go without saying. That's the only thing I'm smoking in this thing. Later, got some Thanksgiving Day that I'm still working on. I am mixing a eyeball, which I'm in the midst of doing. I like starting them strong, and then I just keep adding ginger ale. This way, when I start acting tipsy, I can tell my wife, taste it, it's got practically nothing in it. Wow, very nice. Stephen Skip Kane, hello there. Harlow Piper's having some LJ Peretti Thanksgiving. Very good. Dude Rustica, how you doing, Steve? Scott D, I hope you're enjoying that Thanksgiving Day, my friend. I'm adding the wrong stuff. Thanks, Cliff. It's different occasions when I go in the other direction. So, it was Thanksgiving, obviously, and I haven't talked about this yet. That's not something I really want to talk about a lot, but I've been, because I've been working from home, I haven't been getting as much activity in every day, and let's just say I need to lose a few pounds. So I've been trying to diet, and it's been going okay, but, holidays always mess that stuff up. And it's a challenge for me because I actually like turkey, and what I really like is I like Thanksgiving dinner. That's great, but I like after Thanksgiving dinner, that week long of turkey sandwiches, when you get to put things on a sandwich that you don't put on them any other time of the year, like Brussels sprouts and green bean casserole and stuff like that. And those are obviously not great healthy choices when you're trying to lose some weight. But I was looking this morning at, or actually this afternoon, at my Instagram feed, and I discovered something that has actually made it possible for me to not eat any more turkey ever again. Don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but yeah, that's pretty much done it for me. So I'm off the turkey. It's funny, I watched this and I've got a 30-minute delay, so I'm just now showing you that. So I couldn't even tell if you could really see it. Now I can see that you could actually see what it was, and now I can see what the reactions were. Yeah, EK341, that's not a bad idea at all. Just if you could just maintain through the holidays, you're doing fantastic. Hey, Pipes and Bees. Michael Case, I rarely drink any sodas at all, so it's a great suggestion, but if you, probably every soda that I've had in the past 5 years, you've seen me drink, because the only time I drink it is ginger ale, and I usually am only drinking that for these shows. Let's see, Cliff Higgins has got a question. For everybody with a Mattress Tribute smoke pipe, do you smoke it wide open, no filter or adapter, or do you guys use the filter or just the adapter? It's a good question, Cliff. I use the adapter in mine, but I have other Savinellis that I smoke without the adapter, and they're fine. Ron H., you want an update on my my tobacco that I grew? I'll do that later, because Tony, I can never remember Tony's numbers, Tony 5 whatever, he wants to know about it, and I haven't seen him show up yet, but I will talk about the tobacco later. Mark in Rhode Island, hello there. And Everett Young, how you doing, Everett? Rambling dilettante. Balls out. Good advice there, WKR Piper. Yeah, Artie, I don't know if that's sustainable, though, the whole fasting for 1 or 2 days, and then, I don't know. I just try to, I track my activity, I track my steps with a pedometer, or the phone has an activity meter in it, and I figure out how many calories I'm burning, and I just try to eat fewer calories than what I burn, and that should work, but we'll see. Pipe Tree, how you doing, Tree? Great to see you. I'll tell you one thing I did, and it's made a difference. And I haven't done this because Corvette Jim told me I was going to explode, but I've cut way back on coffee creamer. I was using coffee creamer in every cup of coffee that I'd have during the day, and I drink a lot of coffee. And I use the powdered coffee mate or whatever it is. And that's actually not very healthy. So, but I have to have some creamer in my coffee or I get this acidy stomach problem. Well, it turns out I can do that for the first cup. I can put some creamer in the first cup. And much the way I mix highballs, I usually heat that cup up, like I drink 3/4 of it and then I add more coffee to it. But I don't use any more creamer for the rest of the day. And by about 10 o'clock, I'm drinking black coffee, and it's fine. It doesn't bother me. So it's probably just that first cup I got to be careful with. Pipes and bees, if there's some type of food that actually helps burn calories, I haven't seen it, but maybe. Yeah, Michael K, certainly shoveling snow is going to get me moving. Steph, what's up with the Book of Psalms, which is a wonderful thing to read during the holidays? I'm just wondering why you're interested. Peanut butter and coconut oil in your coffee? No. And that's just a very high calorie dense thing to eat. I no. You're getting into the whole ketogenic thing, and that's not something I'm going to do. Tony 513, how you doing, buddy? I think Tony's here now. I can answer the question from Ron about the tobacco. Sorry to delay you, Ron, but I know Tony was going to ask too, so I figured I'd wait until he shows up. So my plan was to actually have some of my homegrown tobacco and smoke it tonight. Turns out it's not dry. I went into the attic and checked it, and it's close to dry, but it's still kind of like limp instead of crisp. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time. If it continues like that, I'm worried that it'll mold, so I'll probably start to use the oven then to dry it out a bit more quickly. We'll see. But anyway, there's not going to be any homegrown burley tonight. Ah, got you, Steph. I would have no idea. I pay zero attention to that man. And I think we're going to be able to be paying zero attention to him for quite some time to come. Palmist. That ought to do it, Mark. Yeah, that ought to do it. Really, Steph? Palmist? That's hilarious. Maybe, Ron. Maybe for Christmas. I guess it's kind of a labor of love. You just have to wait and be patient. Little Fat Morgan's asking if the adapters work in corn cobs. By the adapters, I'm not sure what you mean. The filter adapters. I suppose you could try. I don't know. I mean, I've always thought corn cobs smoked fine without the filters. Really, Jim? That's impressive. There you go, Steve. There's plenty of hot air to go around, isn't there? Big Finn. Ah, Mark, you're gonna get me in trouble. Hey, Road King Piper, I drink 8 o'clock, just the normal original 8 o'clock blend, and I'm really kind of stuck on that. I'm not going to change it, so I have to deal with whatever acidity is there. And I really don't like dark blend coffees like French roast and things like that. I just don't like the flavor of them. Yeah, Sailor, I don't have a food dehydrator. It's not a bad idea though. I was thinking about just putting it in the oven on a low temperature, checking it every 15 minutes or something. Yeah, Jim, that's what happens to a lot of people. It's the diabetes that winds up putting them into the weight loss camp. I'm hoping to do a better job with it before I get to that point, but it's what happened to my dad. So, it's not like it's impossible. The censorship sucks, drinks 8 o'clock coffee as well. Well, I'm in good company then, and boy, do I agree with you, it does suck. Bialetti pot, is that one of the two-chambered ones? The Italian single shot brewers? Ah, it's good to know, EK341. So the Pipe Nook is having a 15% off sale all weekend. And we're happy to give Eddie some advertising. He's a great guy and he's got some great products. Yeah, Tony, I had a fine Thanksgiving. It was quiet, it was just the wife and I and the two dogs. And yeah, we had a good time. We didn't really we didn't plan our dinner very well, so we kind of had an idea of what we were going to be cooking, and then just as time went on, we said, let's not make that, and it was great. It was just relaxed, no stress, no need to hurry anything. Snack as you go along, that kind of stuff. Well, thank you, Cliff. I'm glad that I can interest 10 people, let alone that many. So. That's impressive, Jim. That's really impressive when you can get to the point where you don't need the medication. That's fantastic. There you go. The censorship sucks. Can I call you TCS? I got you, Mark. Yeah, I know the ones you're talking about. Gotcha, pipes and bees. That is interesting, and I'm sure it's true. But the problem with all these things is that there's a balance to be had. So if you eat nothing but Greek yogurt, you're going to gain weight, and that's an extreme example, I know. So you just gotta. I don't like any of these fad diets where they tell you eat this and you'll burn weight, or don't eat any carbohydrates and you'll lose weight. Yeah, it'll work, but you gotta be just about perfect with it. Uh, Steph and Skip Kane. Steph, my favorite is rye whiskey, and I'm really enjoying a rye whiskey from a company called Stolen Wolf, which is a Pennsylvania distillery. It's really nice stuff. It's a little bit pricey, but it's really nice rye whiskey. And of course, there's thousands of different ones. I mean, I've got a soft spot for blended Irish whiskeys too. You know, things like Jameson and what's the other one? The other one I used to drink all the time. Like, oh, Tullamore Dew. They're good. You know, they're not too expensive, and they're smooth and tasty. This is actually for mixed drinks. I don't like to use that stuff, so this is actually Seagram's. Does the trick. Haunted Bookshop and an Eagle 69 Greybow. Very nice, TCS. Yep, Dallas, full dottle, that's the trick right there. You know, you got to have that caloric deficit or it's not going to work. And you can do that by increasing your exercise, or you can do that by decreasing what you eat. The rye is why. There you go, Skip. I'll have to take a look for that EK341. Yeah, Skip, there was some Balvenie. That's just an empty container now. That's good stuff as well. Ah, so that's the secret behind TCS. Yeah, Ramblin' Dilettante, that full Virginia flake does take some drying time. Yeah, Everett, there's nothing better than Carter Hall and coffee. They go together perfectly. Oh yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Tony. If you haven't seen it, Sarge did a fantastic day after Thanksgiving video today, where he's continuing the tradition that he and John had of retrying Thanksgiving Day after a year of aging. It was great. He did a really nice job with it. EK341, if you don't open the tin, it'll last a really long time. If you opened it, I don't know. I mean, I keep somewhere between 4 and 8 ounces in these things and never have a problem. But, you know, I probably go through that in a couple of weeks. Yeah, Steph, that would be a nice life, wouldn't it? TCS, I'm with you on that. You know, the Acadian Perique, that H&H blend is very good. I've got a couple of tins of that cellared, and I I would be perfectly happy smoking that all the time. It's, you know, pricey because it's tinned. I like Burley, but second in line is Perique. Way to go, Tony 513. It would be a shame to throw them away. They're just perfect for storing tobacco. So I'm glad to hear that rubbed off on you. Dallas has gone through 6 ounces of his latest blend. That must be good stuff there. Yeah, Jim, it was good to see Sarge again. I enjoyed that a lot. He's been busy. He's says he's working double shifts, and I don't know how he does it. You know, the man seems to always be working. Anytime I hear from him, he's either on his way home from work or getting ready to go to work. Bearded Welshman, how you doing, John? Good to see you, buddy. Little Fat Morgan's asking if all Virginias age. I think they do. If anybody else has more information on that, you know, I think it's got to do with the sugar content. I think I'm done with my haunted bookshop. Skip, I've heard them called burpers. I don't call them that because it's too silly, but I've heard them called that. Glad to hear it, Bearded Welshman. So I'm going to set the matches pipe aside, and I've got my my Bari billiard, and we're going to have some. Got very little left. Thanksgiving Day. It was good stuff this year. And you know, that's the fun of it. I would never want to cellar Thanksgiving Day, and I know there might come a day when Peretti's no longer around, and that'll be sad. But to me, the whole ritual of ordering it, you know, waiting till October 31st. Yeah, October 31st. Yes, I actually just had to mentally go through the 30 days, half September, April, June, and November. Waiting till October 31st and ordering it and then seeing what it's like this year, you know, that's just a big part of the ritual. Yeah, Dallas, I wasn't sure if he was asking if they're all aged or if they all can age. Yeah, I think Virginia in general is considered to be a tobacco that ages well. But of course, whether or not what you buy is aged is another question altogether. Lots of versions of burpers out there. Burley Perique, Carlo Piper. WKR Piper, was it you that was already trying out the cotton bacon? And if so, how's that going? Yes, Steph, there'll be a lot of bacon frying at Carter Hall. Yeah, Artie, it's a mystery. I don't, personally, I don't think aging is a real thing with tobacco. I think it's a melding and a mellowing of the flavors that occurs. This whole idea of there being sugar crystals coming out of it is silly. It's been shown that there are mold and bacteria growing on the tobacco. Same thing is true with cigars. But, folks are going to believe what they're going to believe, and nobody's doing science on tobacco, so such is life. All right, John, glad you're taking us along with you there. Eric, the blue-collar pipe smoker, how did he get in here? Eric, you missed it. You were mentioned early on in the live stream. You'll have to watch the replay. Well, Steph, we just gotta. I never thought I'd say this, but we just gotta hope for that zombie apocalypse. And the way things have been going, we might get one. Oh yeah, don't tell Eric about that though. Yeah, Eric, they should be bleeding. Let's just put it this way, Eric, you and turkey were used in the same context. Gilded Piper Steve, those match blends are supposed to be pretty good. I got a problem with them because of the chemicals used in them. I can't get past it, but there's a lot of folks that really like the Sugar Barrel match. And I think it was actually Eric Blue Collar Pipe Smoker who pointed this out, that I think it was the H&H match is very chunky, and it helps if you rub it out a bit. It's much more similar to the original Sugar Barrel if you do that. Yeah, Mark, it's starting to feel more and more like it, isn't it? Voodoo07, how you doing, buddy? Glad you could make it. Oh, Eric, I don't know if you should be the biggest jive turkey. Ah, thanks, WKR Piper. I've been meaning to look into it, and that sounds like a good thing, because if you're getting 14 days out of the Zippo, I'm getting half a day out of mine these days. But I light mine a lot, so. 8-year-old Sunday picnic. Yeah, Sailor, that was probably a wise thing to do. Although I've never heard of anybody getting sick from smoking fuzzy tobacco. All right, Cliff, you take care and have a great time with the decorations there, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Ron, the holiday match is good. I've had that. And that is good stuff. Tony. I guess the big question, Tony, is did you keep your pants on before you went running through the woods? Yeah, full dottle, it's all mold. I can send you the links that go into that. Even the crystalline stuff is either mold or bacteria. Good point, XJ. Good point. Oh, very cool, Meerschaum Mountaineer. Very cool, 1936. That pipe's got some stories to tell. Ron Hardcracker's ward, there will be no comment from me on that. Oh, maybe Sweet Cask was the one I was thinking of, Mark. Maybe it was an H&H match. So I'm curious. I haven't gone shopping on Black Friday ever. I mean, since it started being a thing, because you know, and I'm not watching the news these days. Has it been crazy this year? Or has it been dampened down by COVID? Has anyone seen it? Has anyone seen it firsthand? Do you know which match that is, Eric? Because there's a couple of them out there. There's the Sweet Cask, there's the H&H match, and I think there's also a Lane match. And they might all be the same thing. Oh, Everett, you're going to like that Jupiter. Boris the Piper, hello, my friend. TCS, that was just another ginger ale that I'm adding to my highball. Traffic was nuts in your town, Scott? I'm sure the online sales are skyrocketing. I'm sure, Michael. And yes, the bearded Welshmen, they do matter. I'm with you, Steve. never done it, and to be honest, I don't think I've been. Oh, I was gonna say I haven't been off my block in a month, but I have. We've gone shopping and stuff. Haven't gone very far though. However, it's saying sugar bucket is really good. Double A Pipe Man, how you doing there? Happy holidays to you, my friend. Yeah. Yeah, curfews, Jim. I really enjoyed the story that I did see where in California they apparently have a 10 p.m. curfew, and like miles of cars rode past the governor's house honking their horns at 10 p.m. I like those kind of people. George Tiedemann, I do like the Clipper lighters, but I have to admit I'm starting to like them less. These, the reason I like them compared to a Bic lighter is they're refillable. You can replace the flints, and they're really well made. But I am finding after a couple of refills, a couple of flint replacements, they just won't light, and I don't know why. It's not the butane, because if I just hold down the butane and strike another one, I can get it to light. And I'm getting plenty of spark, but for some reason the spark and the butane aren't coming together. So, but when you think about it, they're under $2, and if you can get 10 refills, that's still a lot cheaper than a Bic lighter. And, they're still essentially disposable. So, yeah, I guess I still like them, but not as much as I did. So Walmarts are almost empty. Home Depots and Targets were having issues with crowd control. More people than allowed, and some getting angry at Target for having to wait outside. Yeah, it sounds like a relatively normal Black Friday stuff. Maybe just a bit toned down at Walmart. XJ, that's an excellent question. There you go, Michael Case. That's an excellent idea. At least on these lighters, full throttle, they don't have an adjustment. It's just you fill it and that's it. There's no way to adjust it. Yeah, Steve, I know, and I have bled them, but that doesn't seem to have taken care of it. I don't know. Like I said, I can't complain too much because I've gotten a heck of a lot of use out of these for under $2. Yeah, Professor Walker, I saw that, and I don't want to. I mean, that's been obvious to anybody that's been paying attention for a long time now. I'm glad that those researchers had the guts to actually say it, but what are you going to do? Asthmatic grandmother. That's a great name. If by oil-based lighters you mean the Zippos that use a It's a naphtha-based fuel. Some folks say that you get a taste from that. I've never gotten it. That's the problem, sailor. The sales always come right when you realize you don't need anything. WKR Piper, you can mention it. I might not repeat it. So the way I've handled the masks is I will not wear them unless it's required in the store. And, you know, the way I look at that is I don't necessarily believe that the state has the right to force me to wear it in the store, but at the same time, I don't want to make trouble for the store owners. The reason I'm going to that store is I want to support them through this time and make sure that they can stay open. So like when I go grocery shopping, I go to a local family-owned grocery store chain rather than to the big conglomerates. And, you know, I don't want to give them trouble. So I'll put it on for that, you know, just to keep things easy, you know, just to not cause trouble for them. But the minute I cross the threshold leaving, I take it off, and that's the only time I'll wear it. You know, the problem is that the science just, we keep being told we're going to follow the science, but yet nobody's paying any attention to the science. And, you know, even the CDC has said that, you know, the masks probably aren't doing anything. And if you look at the correlation between restrictions, so the states that have the largest number of restrictions, that have the most severe masks mandates and shut down the most businesses and everything, they're the states that have the highest incidence. In states that have had very, very little shutdown are the ones that have the lowest incidence. And, you know, the problem is people like things to make sense, you know, and we're not all scientists. We don't have time to wade through the data and try to make sense of this. So we got to, in some ways, trust. And that's okay if we got people that we can trust. And I'm afraid we don't right now. You know, there's a lot going on here that's more about politics than about health. And it's a sad state that we're in. Ah, Steph, sorry, didn't mean to make you think about truth too much. I'll talk about Carter Hall, but I won't talk about that lousy football team of yours. I'm sure Couch looks like a gangster in the mask. Oh, thank you, WKR Piper. I didn't know that was confirmed yet, but I'm glad to hear it. So yes, I'll be on Virtual Pipe Club in 2 weeks' time. I'm looking forward to that. Should be a lot of fun. It's a good question, Artie. And that's an excellent point, XJ. Excellent point. I mean, we're a bit too clean at times. Our immune systems aren't what they used to be. And I just saw a bit of what was going on there between EK and Steph, and I didn't really follow it, guys. But you know, I think one of the greatest things about our community here is that we don't have to agree on everything, and I hope you guys realize that. If I get up on a soapbox, I try not to do it here. I try not to do it on the live streams, but I do sometimes do it during the week, and it's for my own sanity. And you know, if you completely disagree with me, get up on your own soapbox. It's very therapeutic, and I'll listen to you. I will. I think it's important to always listen to folks that disagree with you. All right, Professor Walker. You enjoy making those stems, buddy. Have a great weekend. You know, piano piper, I'm not a fan of that. I don't really think we should agree to disagree. I think we should agree to try to find the truth. There's too much agreeing to disagree. And I'm gonna, maybe next Wednesday, I'm gonna go on a bit of a rant about the division in our world right now. And I don't want to get into it now, but I think we have to start looking for the truth. You know, if you believe something completely different from me, then one of us has to be wrong. And I might be the one that's wrong, or you might be the one that's wrong. But we got to figure that out. We can't just let each other go around not knowing who's right. It's not fair to either one of us. Bearded Welshman, I'm really glad I wasn't drinking when I read that. We can only hope, bars the piper. We can only hope. Oh, interesting, XJ. I'll have to take a look at that at some point. Paragon Piper, not late at all. 2 a.m. pipe on the portico. Wow. I had set my glasses down on the laptop and they got very hot. Laptop's working hard to process the stream. Sounds good, Voodoo07. Which desert should we choose? Yeah, that's what it's all about, Mission Mountaineer. Let's just get to the truth. You know, it's not about finding middle ground either. It's about finding the truth, and maybe the truth is in the middle ground. And there's cases where that's probably going to happen, but a lot of times that's not the case. You know, if just to pick a stupid example, one person's arguing that the sky is blue and the other person's arguing that the sky is green. The truth isn't in the middle. And a lot of times that's what we're dealing with. Either COVID is something that we should be terrified of and we should all be wearing masks and hiding in our basements, or it's no different than the flu. I don't think the truth's in the middle there. I think it's one or the other. And the numbers are telling us which it is, but for some reason we're not allowed to mention that. Oh, I heard something about the monolith in Utah. I will have to check that out. The Meager Inn, hello there. Welcome. Oh, One Simplex One is quoting that group I can't remember. With the bald guy. The censorship sucks is asking if I've ever tried the Burley Flakes. I have, and I can never remember the numbers. I have not tried any of the ones that contain Latakia because I don't like Latakia. I seem to recall number 2 was a favorite, but I just can't remember. They're all good. Truth is hidden in the X-Files. That's a good point, Artie. Good night, Burley Nut Bob. Thanks for joining us, my friend. Have a great weekend. REM, thank you, Skip. Yeah, Odie, I never understood those Pepsi drinkers. They're clearly wrong. And I haven't had a Coke in probably 20 years. Yeah, EK, that's the problem. The narrative keeps switching, and the reason why the hospitalization numbers are higher is that we now have better treatments that are administered in the hospitals, and therefore more people are being hospitalized that would not have previously been hospitalized. So, but the recovery rate is still astonishing. The recovery rate is well above 98% now, I believe, which is better than the flu. Yeah, Everett, I'm sure you are a Diet Pepsi drinker, but you're Canadian, so it's different for you. Sorry, buddy. Couldn't resist. I'm sure Christian will come to your defense shortly. This is true, Voodoo, and quite a few people join me when I drink Yingling. Did you hear they're going national? There's enough demand all over this country for Yingling that the company has gone nationwide. Sorry, Everett, I couldn't help it. Good point, Steph. Why hasn't Dr. Pepper come up in this conversation? And Pipes and Bees is going to be contrarian and shut down all soft drinks. Dude Rustica, yeah, so from 8:05 on, I think I made fun of Eric, and then there was a lot of talk about nothing important. There you go, Pipes and Bees. Yeah, Ron, I know it's been in Arkansas for a while, and I actually have a friend who lives in Oklahoma that drove to Arkansas to get some. Rambling dilettante, there you go. The doctor. We, my wife and I moved to Atlanta for when I was doing my postdoc at Emory, and I grew up with Dr. Pepper, not with it, but you know, that was the version of that kind of soft drink that I remembered. And she actually grew up with Mr. Pibb, which by the time I met her in Pittsburgh wasn't really being sold in Pittsburgh anymore. And when we got to Atlanta, she was really excited because Mr. Pibb was being sold in Atlanta. And she brought this up to me once and said, you know, do you prefer Mr. Pibb or Dr. Pepper? Because it wasn't something we had ever discussed before since Mr. Pibb wasn't around. And I said, well, Dr. Pepper, obviously. And she said, why? And I said, well, the doctor's a professional man. And I laughed. I don't think she got the joke. I really enjoyed that. I cracked myself up sometimes. Oh, Big Dave, that's kind of you. Jimmy Tabacchi, how are we doing there? Good to see you. Hey, Big Dave. By the way, did you see that PBS picked up the peanuts for the holidays? Ramblin' Dilettante, thanks for stopping in, buddy. Have a good one. Yeah, I have had Moxie piano piper. Moxie was a big deal out in Pittsburgh as well, and I had been looking for it for quite a while. We finally found a bottle of it in a Cracker Barrel of all places. Good stuff. Oh, that's interesting, Christian. So Mr. Pibb was originally called Peppo. Hey, all briared up. I was wondering. Sorry, I'm going to have one of those private conversations now. How how have your Zoom meetups been going, buddy? I have not been able to make one of them, and I feel terrible about that. Ah, yes, Steph. I saw you mention that somewhere. First Yingling was in Philly with your first cheesesteak. Well, I hope at least one of those was good. Cheesesteaks are great when they're made right, but I've had some bad ones too. Moxie tastes like Pepsi after brushing your teeth. I know, Big Dave. I know. We're not going to go back to that though. The great pumpkins in the past. We're going to focus on the future. Not a fan, Jim. I've never liked the Pats or the Genos. The small mom and pop shops where I grew up in South Philadelphia made much better cheesesteaks. And I've said this before, but best cheesesteak sandwich I've ever had, I had in Pittsburgh. Oh, Iron City. I drank a lot of that when I lived in Pittsburgh, TCS. American cheese for me, Bonapiper, but not eating many of them these days. Although I do really like the Italian version of the cheesesteak that has the broccoli rabe and the sharp provolone on it. That's good, but most of the time it's just American cheese. Glad to hear that all briared up. I'll get to one someday. I'm really glad they're working out though. Ah, Chicago Italian beef. Yeah, that's something I miss. There used to be these. What was it called? I think it was Nick's roast beef. I think that's right. It was Nick's roast beef. It was just this little storefront. You'd walk up to it right off the street. I mean, there'd be houses on either side of it, and there was this storefront, and they'd have either roast beef or roast pork sandwiches, and they were, they dip them in the what do you call that? It's not gravy, juice, whatever. And oh, they were good. Haven't had one of those in forever. 30 years. Is that right, Ron H? I really liked Iron City. And there was a joke when I was in grad school. We used to say that Icy Light, which was the Iron City light beer, was they just filtered the rust out of the Iron City. Sailor, you're just missing something that's gonna make you gain a lot of weight. And I mean, they're good. They're good, but you know, it's kind of a ridiculously calorically dense meal. Uh, you know, fried strips of steak and lots of cheese, lots of grease, fried onions. But boy, they do taste good. Juice. Thank you, Tony 513. That's the much better word for it. There was a Chicago Italian beef hot dogs in downtown Pittsburgh. Oh yeah, Couch. I think I had those. I think I know what you're talking about. Those were fantastic. Rolling Rock is the poor man's Heineken. Well, I thought Heineken was the poor man's beer. So Now, Big Dave, we got to work on this rage and anger. Bookbinders, yeah, I don't think they're open anymore, Sailor, but that was like the big fancy restaurant you'd take a date to back when I was in high school. Of course, you'd have to save up for a year to do it, but yeah, it was a seafood place. Good stuff. In fact, you used to be able to buy like Bookbinder's clam chowder, and I think they had a lobster bisque that you could buy canned in the grocery stores. It might be, Scott. I'm not sure if it was Denix or just Nix. I don't remember. You know, guys, I told you I'm dieting, and now we're talking about Italian meatball sandwiches. Steve, you're killing me. Those are fantastic. Yeah, Ron, I'm so sorry that I couldn't make Professor Jeremiah's Zoom, but I wanted to spend the day with the wife and do all the Thanksgiving things with her. So sounds like it was a fantastic time. Ron H, I've got some O stories that I could tell. Yes, I did go there, and yeah, I don't know if there's an upstairs at the O where you could sit down, and there was a bar and you get pictures of beer and stuff. For you guys that have never been to Pittsburgh, the O is actually the original, and it was a place that was famous for hot dogs and French fries. And their French fries were fairly good. They made them from fresh potatoes, but I think each fry held like 3 times its weight in grease. Yeah, skip those puff rice wafers. Mm-mm. All right, all briared up. Hope you're okay with that extra interest we generated tonight. You have a good weekend, buddy. Yeah, Ron, I've got some very, very. I don't know if I want to tell those stories. So the original also sold pizzas for, I think they were $5 each. I might be wrong about that, but I think they were $5 each, and they were full size large pizzas. Cheese, if you wanted toppings, it was extra. So I'd go there a lot with a friend of mine, and we'd get a pitcher of beer and the pizza, and then another pitcher of beer and another pitcher of beer, and yeah, it was fun. They did shut it down recently, yep. All right, Dallas, thanks for joining us tonight. You have a good evening and a good weekend. Michael Case, that's true. It is the quantity and frequency that gets you. No question about it. Kale and dried hay. Oh, we made Steph eat another plate of leftovers. Our mission is complete. Oh, WKR Piper, I have had fried in duck fat. I'll tell you a story about unusual fat fries that you'll probably enjoy. And I don't know if I told this story before or not. So I think I'm safe telling this. I think I can tell this story. And Thanksgiving Day is that maybe another 2 bowls? It's going to be sad when that's done. Should wrap that up so it doesn't dry out. So I used to work at a small company. So I work for a pretty big company now, but I left it and worked for this small company for about 5 years. And we did research, and we were collaborating with a company that was based in Belgium. And we had a this sounds impossible, but we had a monthly meeting in Belgium. So it got to the point where I actually knew the waitresses, not the waitresses, sorry, that's terrible, the stewardesses, the flight staff on the flight from Philadelphia to France, and then we'd get off the plane in France and we'd get a train to Belgium. And we did this every month. And we had a big milestone that we hit, and it was recognized by both sides of the collaboration that this was cause for celebration. So we wanted to go out to a nice restaurant. Now, my boss at the time, God bless him, he was one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? When it came to food and wine, he was a snob. There's no nice way to say it. And I spent a lot of time with this guy. We went out to a lot of dinners together. I was constantly going to work-related dinners with him. And I just kind of got used to him, but he was a bit harsh. He was a little bit abusive to the staff and stuff. And let me put it this way. I often found myself after a dinner saying goodbye to him and telling him that I had to go use the men's room before I left, when in fact I was going back to apologize to the staff because he was kind of nasty. But he remains a friend. I'm still in touch with him, and he helped me a great deal in my career. So, you got to take the good with the bad. Anyway, we want to go out to a nice restaurant in Belgium. And the people that are from Belgium, that are part of this other company, chose a restaurant. And they chose it because this restaurant was known for their French fries. Well, this immediately set this guy off. He wasn't interested in French fries. He wanted high-grade dining, and we were going to some French fry joint. And so we got there, and we had reservations, but there was a bit of a wait for the table. And this just raised his ire. And we sit down at the table, and he opens up the menu, and they have the French fries. And they're different. They're all in different fats, which was kind of interesting. So there were French fries fried in duck fat. There were French fries fried in beef fat. And, this is Belgium, different culture. They had French fries fried in horse fat. And he immediately starts, who would eat these things? What kind of barbarians would eat horses? And he's being very loud. And he was abusive to the maitre d'. He was abusive to our waiter. So we ordered like 3 or 4 different types of these fries for the table, and then we ordered individual meals to complement the fries. And I don't even remember what kind of food they had other than the fries. It wasn't like burgers and stuff. It was actual, dinners. But anyway, so we place our order, and as we're placing the order, as the waiter is like writing things down, another waiter comes over with a big thing of French fries and puts it in the middle of the table. And he said, "Well, what's this?" And he said, "Oh, it's compliments because you had to wait, and we apologize for the difficulties. Please enjoy the fries." Okay. So we all start eating French fries because we're hungry, and my boss likes them. He's wow, these are really good. And so we all place our order, and we're all talking and drinking, and the evening starts going very nicely. And the fries come out, and there's duck fries, and there's beef fries, or whatever we ordered. And we all start sampling those, and those are all really good. And the waiter comes back with our main courses, and we're eating those, and we're still eating the French fries as the night goes on. But this fries that they brought out originally becomes my boss's favorite, and he's really enjoying them. And so the waiter comes back, and it might have been to take dessert orders or whatever, and he said, "Wait, before you do that, these were duck and these were beef, but these are different. What were these?" And the waiter smiles and says, "Oh, sir, those are the horse fries." I laughed a lot more than I should have. I made people run away with my story. Sorry. Good night, Steph. Steph, take care. Thanks for joining us. Who else left? Piano Piper. Have a good one. Have a great weekend, guys. I appreciate you showing up. Meerschaum Mountaineer, good night, my friend. Have a good weekend. Yeah, WK or Piper, they were all excellent. I mean, I can't say that any of them were bad. I mean, even the horse, as much as I don't want to eat horse. Whale is better than prime rib. Very interesting, Paragon Piper. No, Skip, they were all the same size. All the same size, just different flavors. Bona Piper, I would say that he was put in his place by it. Oh, thank you, XJ. I appreciate that. Sea biscuit was yummy. Tony, that's fantastic. Apples and sugar cubes. That's good, Paragon Piper. I find that hard to believe, Jim. You know, Wendy's chili is a brilliant move on their part because I believe what they do is they use the burgers that you know once they make the burgers and they can't sell them as burgers, they get chopped up into chili. Yes, XJ, it was a good thing. Now the mahi mahi dolphin, Ron H, is not the same dolphin as the flipper dolphin. Completely different creature. Oh, Paragon Piper, I wish you hadn't told me that. So there's the way it works, Jim. Yeah. And that's brilliant because otherwise that would just be meat that was wasted. Yeah, Ronnie. So mahi mahi is very, very good fish. And I do believe that is a fish, whereas a dolphin is not a fish. Yeah, flipper is a mammal. Oh, there you go, Ron H. You you foresaw my comment. Flipper is a mammal and mahi mahi is a fish. Oh, Big Dave. Free. Yes, indeed, Michael Case. Yes, indeed. Guys, we're going to be tying this up in just about 5 minutes. So I'll say I really appreciate all you folks showing up tonight. And I know with it being the day after the holiday and all, I wasn't sure how many people would be showing up. I'm never sure when it's just a solo live stream. But I appreciate you taking the time to spend with me and make this possible because obviously I'm not going to sit here and do this myself if you guys don't show up. And next week, next Friday, we've got Art from Artie's Place on. Art is the most positive man in the YTPC, and I'm really looking forward to having a chat with him. It should be a lot of fun. Good night, JMZ. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Have a great weekend. Paragon Piper, it was great having you, buddy. Good night, One Simplex One. Have a great weekend. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. Thank you, Skip. You have a good weekend. Indeed, XJ. Oh no, Everett. You gotta let the sleeping Thurman lie. Piper on the 45, thank you much, my friend. Liquid bread is beer. Yep, same ingredient, just put together a little different. Morris, not sure what that is, but I'm getting close to my bedtime. Good night, Michael Case. You have a great weekend, my friend. And again, I am quite pleased at my ability to figure this. There we go. All right, folks, I'm going to be signing off. Hope you all have a nice weekend and a great week ahead. I'll probably be around on Sunday morning, Wednesday, and I'll definitely see you next Friday for a visit from our friend from Marty's place. So you all take care of yourselves, and I will see you again very soon. Have a great night, guys.